Thanks for the support as a channel member, Simon. I'll level with you. At the start of this season, I didn't expect to be managing against Peterborough United in a major European final. That's the Peterborough United that I not only support, but I was managing at the start of the season. It's Posh versus Arsenal, and somehow I'm going to have to cheer on Arsenal because, you know, I manage them. Hello and welcome to Club 3, Part 7 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we actually have two finals for you before we get into the Europa League stuff. We've also got an FA Cup final against Chelsea, a Chelsea team still managed by Frank Lampard in 2028. What an alternate reality we're living in here. It's crazy town. Frank Lampard still manages Chelsea, and we're playing against Peterborough in the Europa League final. The only thing that's normal is Arsenal have had a terrible season, but are about to tell you it's great because they've got to an FA Cup final and a Europa League final. I'm assuming this has got out as a channel premiere as well. It certainly should have done. So assuming that it has, hello to everybody who's watching live down in the channel premiere. Give us a hello folks emote if you're a channel member down there. And if you enjoy being part of a live chat for occasions such as this, it sounds a lot to me like you'd enjoy hanging out with us over on Twitch, where I'm streaming tonight, 7 p.m, twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. And of course, if you miss it live, you could always go and watch the replay on LOLLUJO Live in a day or two's time. The link to that channel should be down in the description for you as well. Plugs out of the way. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to get in, grab a coffee, grab some popcorn, grab some Weetabix and marmalade, or maybe some cold baked beans. And now it's time for us to play the first of the two finals. It's only 5 days apart, by the way, as well. We don't get much rest going into the Europa League finals. That's advantage Peterborough straight away, who, by the way, we did finish above them in the league. 10 points above them, but only one place above them. We didn't quite make it into the top half of the table. We did finish 4 points behind Tottenham in 6th place. So we had a very good second half of the season. So this is the team for the game against Chelsea, the FA Cup final. And this will be my first proper piece of silverware of the save if we can win this. So I'd quite like to win it. We've got I've been told multiple times it's Dragovski in goal. I'm never going to say that again, probably. Tierney, Gabriel, Gascon and Williams at the back. Ceballos and Pedri in midfield. That's a tough tackling central midfield too, isn't it, if ever I saw one. And then Saka, hold on, Saka needs to be a winger. Let's do I want to do the changes for next match only. Why has Pastkev picked this team? What's he up to? So for next match only, we want to make him a winger. And Reece Nelson, Almada, João Pedro. Where is everybody? Right, Kovacic is on holiday, of course he is. Doyle is injured, so that's my central midfield gone. Liam Delap's cup tied. Ayer's injured. I forgot he was here. I mean, it's a long time since we've seen him. Rui Camara's injured. Okay, now I get why we're playing this team. So it's a front four who were all here when I arrived. In fact, there's two players in this team who weren't at Arsenal when I arrived, and that's Pedri and Gascon. So can we be a good team without all the fancy transfers that we did? Because to be fair, both of those two, you could argue, were just reasonably priced replacements for players that we sold, because we sold Sula, replaced him with Gascon for roughly the same amount of money. We sold Ward-Prowse and replaced him with Pedri. We did pay a little bit more for Pedri than we sold Ward-Prowse for, but Pedri was from Chelsea and was a discount. We got him. He was on the transfer list there because he'd been there like 2 years and never really got in the team. He's been virtually ever present for us. Now, Almada, I thought he was going to break free there, but he just hesitated for a second, and it's allowed Chelsea to keep this move going. And I'm a little bit disappointed with that little moment of hesitation, because we could have had a counter-attack on there, and we're pretty good on the counter-attack. Kieran Tierney's missed the ball there as well. And luckily, Chelsea not yet got their sights in on our goal, and they got a big opportunity, but ended up firing it wide. I say it's a big opportunity. It got them 0.1 on their XG, so it probably wasn't that good of an opportunity. But still, I'll paint my own narrative and I'll enjoy it. Right, Chelsea are camped out on the edge of our penalty area so far today. That big, tough tackling midfield I talked about before, it might already be showing us up a little bit in midfield. Who have we got who could come on and play in central midfield? Nobody really. That's the problem. We've sold most of the midfield, and the ones that are left are injured, resting or suspended. And these two are, I guess we could bring Almada back, but he's not exactly much of a solution in there either. But Aya could have been in there. Kovacic could have been in there. Doyle could have been in there. We're going to need, I mean, we will have Kovacic back for the Europa League final, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to rest him up, because that's the big one. Obviously, the FA Cup is a nice to win. The Europa League is a must win because it gets us into the Champions League. João Pedro has just put us 1-0 up. Of course, an FA Cup win gets us back into Europe. That guarantees us at least a Europa League spot for next year, which is significant. And then we go into the Europa League final, trying to make it one better and get into the Champions League. So we want to win both, but it's more important that we win the other one. João Pedro, 2 bites of the cherry, does tuck it away in the end. A 25th goal of the season for him. And I'm hoping, because the other reason for getting back into the Champions League, not just because that's where we should be, we're Arsenal, and that's where we need to be because of the money we spent in January. We need to justify that expense. But João Pedro has said he wants to leave to play Champions League football. So my hope is if we qualify for the Champions League, he'll stay because he'll be able to play Champions League football with us then. And then we don't lose a player who's our captain, can play in 3 different positions in the system that we're using, and has got 25 goals largely from that left wing this season. Although he is playing up front today, he's played certainly the majority of the second half of the season out wide and has still been banging in the goals from out there. So we don't really want to lose him. He'd be a big loss and someone who'd be quite difficult to replace, especially because we're already probably going to have to lose Reiss Nelson this summer. He came to me with the whole, I want a new challenge deal. So I've said, well, you can go then because he's kind of a backup player for us. So Reiss Nelson is probably on his way. So we're going to be left with, if João Pedro goes as well, we'll have Delap as our only real option as a striker because I'm probably going to get rid of Ramos. Got Almada and Pedri as attacking midfielders, and then Saka, Rui Camara, really as our only 2 wide players, and they're both wingers. Because Rui Camara is a winger on the right, unless we train him to play on the left so we can get Saka onto the right cutting in. Because like an inside forward or an inverted winger, I don't really want to have to play with 2 wingers like we are today. Right, what are we going to do substitution wise? We need to really be thinking in terms of keeping players fit. Oh, I forgot about Pete Bristow, although he's actually on the transfer list at his own request now because he's not had the game time he was promised. My response to you, Pete Bristow, is you've scored 1 goal. That's why you've not had the game time you've been promised. But I might get him on for a little bit now. Who is Ido Elmilek? He's 22-year-old English, another attacking midfielder. They're all so Arsenal-y. Will Foster is a 20-year-old who can actually play as a defensive midfield player. He's got 16 tackling. This might be the boy to bring on to make his club debut in the FA Cup final. I mean, I've done stupider things. Will Foster, come on and make your debut, son. Get in there. You're going to be the box-to-box midfielder. Just to mix things up a little bit in that midfield. And then we're going to take off Almada to keep him fit for the Europa League final. I'll bring on Ramos to come in behind João Pedro. Delap, of course, will be back for the Europa League final as well. He's cup tied for today because Chelsea played him in the 3rd round before we were able to bring him in, which is just a frustration. But Foster in midfield. First look at Foster. There you go. Bringing youth players on as well. I'm like the complete manager at this point. Here is Ramos. Ramos trying to create something. Plays it out to Williams. Williams in a crossing position. Foster's there. Oh, imagine if he scored on his debut in the FA Cup final. He'd have to retire as a footballer after that. It doesn't get any better than that. Final change. What are we going to do? There's nobody mega tired, but I need to think in terms of who we might need for that final. So I think Saka is probably the one who needs to come off. Bristow can come on and play as an inside forward, even though he's got a grumpy on at the moment. This is his opportunity to show me that he deserves a little bit more football next season. And to be fair, if João Pedro does leave, Bristow does move up the pecking order if he decides to stay, but we'll probably be moving him on as well because he's already got his grumpy on. That's a terrible pass. Nelson couldn't get there, and that's left us in trouble. Dragovski, I said it again, makes the challenge, the save. It's Williams who came in with the challenge. Desperate defending from us now, but we are still 1-0 up. 4 minutes left. Gabriel with the header clear, but it only goes as far as Pulisic, but luckily he's hurt himself. His legs exploded. They're down to 10 men. We've broken Christian Pulisic. Beautiful stuff. And it looks like we are FA Cup winners. I didn't expect that at the start of this season. We've only gone and got some silverware. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Are we going to have someone doing a cartwheel though? I'm looking at you, Dragovski. Is it just an Ollie Wright thing? Or do all goalkeepers do cartwheels when they win trophies in FM21? I need to know. There we have it. An FA Cup win. Now, hopefully, we see this animation a second time in this episode. Well, actually, we'll see the animation one way or the other because it'll either be us or Posh lifting the trophy. But we're on cartwheel watch now. If it's just every goalkeeper, I'm a little bit disappointed. Oh, it is. It's just a standard thing. I am quite sad that apparently all goalkeepers do it. Right. Good performance, boys. Same again against Peterborough. And we are in the Champions League. Can I just point out as well, once the media get a narrative, they don't let it drop, do they? Even with celebrating the FA Cup win, this marks quite a turnaround for Chapman, who many will remember being unceremoniously dumped out of the Carabao Cup by Birmingham. Nobody remembers that other than the media. I don't remember that. Ridiculous. Well, here we go then, folks. Europa League final time. And we have made a couple of changes to the team. Now, the changes you expected me to make. Kovacic, back from his holiday, is back in midfield to go alongside Pedri, with Ceballos dropping down to the bench. We've also brought Liam Delap back into the side up front. So João Pedro is going to drop out to the right-hand side, with Reece Nelson also dropping down to the bench. We've got all of the substitutes for today's game, so lots of opportunity for people to come on if needed. The one player who's missing, who we would love to have involved, is Rui Camara, who was, of course, a very, very influential signing. 7 goals from 14 appearances and a 7.3 since arriving from Porto. He's just not quite going to be fit in time. I have done a team meeting leading up to this and messed it up completely, telling the players I expected them to win, and they all got a grumpy on. So I might have just handed victory to my former team, and it looks like they've gone back to playing my system as well. And they were doing some weird stuff when Philip Koku first took over, playing Belotti ahead of Kirstich, playing a 4-3-3 rather than the 4-2-3-1. But it does look like they are back to the familiar Peterborough side. Oh, see, that's a good team. They're my boys playing in my system. And is my system going to be better with a bunch of players who aren't my boys? Whoever wins today, I'm the winner. These are 2 teams I've built, 2 tactics I've done. But obviously I want Arsenal to win, so I want us to get back into the Champions League. But I'll feel there'll definitely be a surge of pride if Peterborough end up winning this game. And of course, a surge of told you so comments from everybody who said I should have stayed at Posh. So I need to win just to stop that from happening more than anything. It has been a very tight opening few minutes. Dragovski playing it forward to Pedri. Pedri looking for Williams, but Brandon Williams intercepts. But Nico Williams has won it back off him. Brandon's intercepted again. I've even got players with the same names. Pelistri on the right-hand side for Posh. It's beautiful to see this Posh team again. Novak playing out at right back. That's interesting. I wonder what happened to Lopez. Did he never recover properly from his injury? João Pedro with a crunching tackle in midfield there, winning the ball back off Danny Francis, I think that was. And then Parsons to Ben Bassat. Francis is in space again. And his short eye, we know how dangerous short eye can be if he links up well with Kirstich today. Williams on the left. João Pedro can't get the ball back off him. Francis with the cross. Miliacio's there. And Posh are ahead. Oh, God, Posh are ahead. This is the nightmare scenario. We are behind. We've been doing so well for so long, and it all counts for nothing if we don't win this game. Oh, God. This is horrible. This is properly horrible. I hate every moment of this. Oh, dear. Right, we've got to demand more. I can't face you lot if this goes wrong. I'm just going to end the video and I'll be back for FM22. I think it's probably for the best if this doesn't go to plan. We've been building up on this script all season long. Oh, God, we're losing. We're actually losing. Oh, no. We've been the better team as well. Right. Pump the fists. We're going attacking. We've got to try and win the game. They've just matched up doing what we do. They know how we're going to play, and they're outplaying us at it. Come on. We're going to have to change something. We're not creating anything. I've ruined it. I genuinely think I've ruined it with the team talk. Right, Williams finds Pedri. Can we have an equaliser here? Williams into the penalty area. We've got a penalty. It's Williams fouling Williams. Brandon Williams, of course, club captain at Posh, unless they've taken that off of him. Has he given away a penalty in the club's first ever Europa League final? He has. Thiago Almada to make it 1-1. I need you to score here. If we don't score this penalty, then I know this isn't going my way today. Almada scores. It's 1-1. Oh, my word. Right, now we just need to not mess up. Let's just play our game. We know we're the better side. The whole point of the move is that we know we're the better side. With a bigger club, we've got the better players. Yes, they're littered with wonder kids, but they're all going to leave this summer unless they end up in the Champions League. So we need to knock them out so that we can go and raid half the team. Basically, we just want Parsons. We'll take Parsons. Everyone else can go everywhere else. We just want Parsons. Shortire doing good work down the right-hand side, but Gascon is there to, play the ball back in a ridiculous manner to Dragowski, who is looking at options ahead of him, finds Gabriel, back to Dragowski and get rid of the ball now. Get the ball out of our half. Gascon to Pedri. Stop kicking it back to the goalkeeper. I can't cope with this. Saka on the left-hand side. Sorry, he should be on the right. In fact, what the hell am I doing? What the hell am I doing? This is how we should have started. This is pressure right here. That's how we should have started the game. It's because I just dropped what's his face, Pedro, back to cover Reece Nelson. Delap is in and we're ahead. Tactical change has made all the difference. Neither of them were involved. We've just played 60 minutes of the biggest game in the save so far, with two players playing in slightly weaker positions than they could be in, because I'm so afraid of losing this game that I've made two stupid mistakes. Messed up the team meeting, and then picked the team wrong. I've lost my mind. Right, Liam Delap, very important stuff. Yes, we're going to do the tactical change because we did it and caused the goal. That's the narrative we're going with. Petrozilka, we know he can just hurl that ball into the penalty area from there. Chooses not to on this occasion. And they're continuing their knocking the ball around. And I'd like somebody to get a tackle in, please and thank you. Nobody seems that keen, though. Gascon gets up above. I think, was that Petrozilka in the middle? Got up above him and headed clear anyway. Almada has got Delap in space. Delap scores to make it 3, and I think this is job done, boys and girls. We've made it hard for ourselves, but with 20 minutes left, it's Peterborough United 1, Arsenal 3 in the Europa League final. Really unlucky for Novak there that the ball from Almada just cannons off his head and ends up back with Almada again, who can have a second go at playing the ball over the top for the run through from Delap, and Delap's got his second goal of the game. And now look how tired some of these players are. João Pedro didn't get very long, did he? Nelson. I mean, why didn't I do this why didn't I play them this way around in the FA Cup final? I wish I could go back in time, talk to past Kev, and find out what his thought process was, because Saka's so much more effective on the right. Thiago Almada is tired as well. We're going to bring Ramos on for him in there. I would like to be able to move Pedri forward, but with Doyle injured, we don't have another central midfielder who can come on and allow me to push Pedri forward into the attacking midfield positions. It's definitely an area we need to be strengthening this summer, both in quality and quantity compared to what we've got in there at the moment. And now for my final change. We're going to see. I want to take off Kovacic, but I can't because there's no one to bring on for him. The bench looks really light, and we're not missing a lot of players. The bench just looks like there's not much to it right now, which is troublesome to me. I'm going to take off Saka and bring on Bristow, and we'll swap those two over. Nelson can play probably his final game for Arsenal, unless he changes his tune once we're in the Champions League. But Reece Nelson, probably his final Arsenal appearance. He can play on the right-hand side one more time. Williams plays it into Nelson. Nelson back to Pedri. Ramos, and Ramos rubber stamps it. I feel a little bit bad about battering him to this extent. I'm not celebrating the goals anymore. I hope the Peterborough fans respect that. And it's Posh 1, Arsenal 4. We're in the Champions League. The plan has been executed to the letter. This is what we came in and said we were going to try and do. We were going to steady the ship in the league. We were going to win the Europa League, and we were going to be in the Champions League within a year of arriving at Arsenal. And as long as the rules haven't changed, which I haven't... Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine if the rules have changed and we're not in the Champions League after all? Because we're, 10 years in the future now? Maybe not quite 10. 7 or 8 years in the future. That rule could have easily changed. Let's hope it hasn't, or else the whole thing is slightly less justified then. Because the whole argument was, we're on the verge of the Champions League with Posh. Yeah, but we can get in the Champions League with Arsenal, with a bigger club, with more pulling power, and then we're more likely to win the Champions League. That was the justification. Belotti's now on for Posh. It's lovely having all my different saves linked together. Belotti was a star for the Leicester side. Ben Bassat, one of my final signings for Peterborough there in central midfield. Danny Francis, who looks like he's playing out on the left-hand side now, this is his final year there on loan from Liverpool. So he might be a man who we could look to bring in from Liverpool to strengthen our central midfield, because we know how effective he can be as a box-to-box midfielder. Regier looks like he's playing at centre-back, which Philip Cocu is a nut muffin. Liam Delap's got his hat-trick. Goal number 29 of the season for him. Some of you thought we overpaid. 29 goals since arriving in January. I mean, okay, 6 of them were maybe for Chelsea before he arrived, but that's still well over 20 goals since coming in January, and a hat-trick in the Europa League final, signifying he's a big game player as well. And we are getting the animation once again, twice in one episode. We are now lifting the big one and hopefully going to receive confirmation that we are in the Champions League. Where am I? Am I still wearing the pink suit? I probably am. I want to get that dry cleaned, really. I've got my hands on yet another piece of silverware, and Dragowski is there to lift the trophy. And Arsenal, we're not the champions of Europe. We're the champions of Europe Division 2. But hopefully we're now back in the Champions League. If Dragowski's got the trophy, does that mean he's not going to do the cartwheel? Oh, he's not. He's holding the trophy. Who are we going to get the cartwheel from? Is the cartwheel a guaranteed animation? Who's the number 22? Gascon. Gascon giving us the cartwheel. Beautiful. There we go. Well done, boys. Sorry, Posh. I know there's probably some Posh fans watching. I am sorry for what we've just had to do. But have we got confirmation that we're in the Champions League? Because we got confirmation of the Europa League straight after the FA Cup win. So I need to see confirmation that we're in the Champions League. Oh, yes, we're in. We're in, boys and girls. We have qualified for the Champions League, straight into the group stage, and we don't have any transfer budget because I've already spent it. And I'll show you what I've spent it on in tomorrow's transfer special. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.